here there be spoilers. Beware any you haven't read yet. Avast, ye viewers! Ge back, afore ye be spiled of this book.
Hello everybody, Graz from the GKBC, here to not do my saga video. That will be tomorrow. I haven't finished it yet. I'm savoring book 2 because it's incredible. So watch for that tomorrow. I'm feeling a lot better, so for those of you that watch my videos, and I usually watch a lot of yours and comment all the time, I haven't been doing that because I haven't been feeling all that well. And I mean, you know, it's not just, oh, I've got a cold. I'm dealing with some life issues, internal. But I'm feeling okay. The past couple days, as okay as I can. So I am, I'm going to start catching up on that. So, people that I'm a fan of, I'm coming back. But today, oh, excuse me. As you see, I always like to have something next to me as a showcase. The Graz mother bought me this. It's Patricia Cornwell, Portrait of a Killer, Jack the Ripper, case closed. I'm interested to see what Patricia Cornwell has to say about Jack the Ripper. Kind of cool. Anyway, so that's my showcase. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you my normal, in-depth, spoilery review of A Canticle for Liebowitz by Walter M. Miller Jr. This was my science fiction book for January. And I've waited this long because I'm still kind of processing it, because it is definitely a deep read. It's not like some ace double science fiction thing where it's all action and, you know, there's not a whole lot of downtime. This is very, very plot driven. So it's I'm gonna give you my dislikes, my likes, and then there's a few sections that I'm actually gonna read from before I, you know. So, but to start off, let me give you the numbers of the book. As I said before, it's A Canticle for Liebowitz by Walter M. Miller Jr. It was first published in 1959. This here copy is from 2007. It's the Bantam Mass Market reissue. I wasn't paying a whole lot, but it was originally in 1959. The cover here, which has a candle and a pen and the smoke kind of mixing into the ink, which is really awesome. Is that clear on there? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. That cover is, it says, cover designed by Retinal Graphics and book designed by Glenn M. Edelstein. On Goodreads, this has a 3.98 out of 5. That's out of 103,866 ratings and 5,751 reviews. I personally, through my own rating system, ended up with an 8.76 out of 10. This is a good candidate to be in my top 10 of the year. It's very good. It's so thought-provoking, and I kind of see, this is why I read the Bodice Rippers, because after something like this where my brain is just going and going and going, I need something stupid, you know, just something to like. So that's why I read the Bodice Rippers. Anyway, let me give you my dislikes because I like to get those out of the way. It relies a bit too much on the reader having prior knowledge of how the religion of monks work. I had a hard time kind of going with that, because I'm not a monk. I'm not super religious. So I don't really understand like some of their, you know, like their prayer times and stuff. And I think there's a word Vespers or something like that. That type of thing. I don't understand that too much. So and this relies a little bit too much on that. It's really a nitpicky thing, though. Number 2, like I already said, it's very plot driven, but it's also very, very dense. It's very wordy and thick, so it makes it kind of hard to read. I mean, it's a very narrative book, I guess. I'm not really getting the words right, but I think I'm hoping you're following me. And then the worst part of this book for me is there are paragraphs of Latin, and it's unexplained. So there's just like paragraphs of text in this book that are basically blank spots for me. Okay, great, it's Latin. I don't know what that means. I didn't mark any. But yeah, it's bad. It's too much. And that's really the only dislikes I had from this book. I mean, yeah, those things can kind of take away from it. But I mean, it's actually I had to hunt, and I wasn't going to force it to get to 5. So now my 5 best likes. The main character, this book is in 3 parts. Fiat Homo, Fiat Lux, and Fiat Voluntas Tua. More Latin. In the first part, you have a character, Brother Francis, who is very likable, and you engage with him right away, and it's good. But he's innocent. Like, the world has ended by a radioactive nuclear war type thing. So there's fallout shelters. But this is so far in the future from that these monks are so innocent that they think the fallout shelter is a shelter to hide from fallouts. Which technically, yes, you are hiding from the fallout of the bomb. But they think that the fallouts are actually creatures that are, if you wake one up, then, you have no chance because you've just woken up a fallout. And it's just the innocence of that is it's easy to get behind. I liked that. And with that is something, I'm going to take a tangent here. I first heard about this book on Tad's channel, at Tad Reads Books and Stuff. And he was talking about how this starts out. These monks are basically trying to canonize, which means turn into a saint, this Liebowitz guy. And they've got like his old grocery list and stuff, like pick up liver and, stuff like that. And it's like the sacred texts are like his grocery list, which is awesome. It's so funny. But yeah, that's where I heard about this, and I added it to my list right away. So these monks are very innocent in their own manner. It's fun. Number 2, I really enjoyed. Back to Brother Francis. He faints. He faints all the time. If the camera moves, the cats are doing their thing. So that's fine. You can't get rid of them when you're doing a video. They think I'm talking to them. So, Jack. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. But he faints. Every time like a big thing happens or something big, or he's in trouble or anything, he faints. He's known as Brother Francis the Fainter. It's hilarious. Then in another, I think it's the second part of this book, which is like 1,000 years or hundreds of years after Brother Francis, there's these 3 characters. Poet, that's his name, the Thon, and Benjamin. And Benjamin's like a prophet type guy. You almost think that he's Jesus or Satan throughout the whole book. Turns out he's not. I don't want to give that away. I want anybody who reads this to figure that one out on their own. But they're all brilliantly characterized, and in the brief conversations you have with the three of them, it's mesmerizing. I could have done with pages more of that. Take out all the stupid Latin and put in a conversation or like rhetoric with those three. Yes. Next, I actually have on page 248. I love the Miller grasps how accurate, or he grasps accurately how reporters and bureaucracy fight with one another in interviews. It's like they keep it, like the reporters ask the same question in 4 or 5 different ways to try and trip up the bureaucrat who always says the same lame answer. Like, well, this is just the way it is. Nope, that's just the way it is. No comment. And it's just it's caught beautifully. And then something that is probably controversial, but I really enjoyed it in here, are the arguments. Not between characters so much, but like in the narrative behind the characters, like faith versus science. Pray for healing versus euthanize. It's so provoking in both thought and action. I'm stammering over my words because, again, cats. I wish that they would just walk away for 10 minutes, but and it's distracting. Because he's not coming to me, he's attacking the camera, and it's annoying. But anyway, I love those commentaries on those topics because it's handled in a way where you can see the merits of both, which is shocking to someone who has a belief system. I'm not, like I said, I'm not hugely religious, but I have a belief system and I have a faith, and I believe certain things. We're not going to get into that because I don't want to turn this into a political debate, but this book makes you see both sides very well. It was so well written. Okay, now there was an eye-opener or widener or whatever near the end of part 1. Like you at all this point you think, okay, well, Brother Francis is who that's our character, right? Because that's who you're following the whole book so far. And then he's sitting under a tree and he hears a noise and he looks and he doesn't even feel the arrow go through his head. And then he's dead. His body's looted. They might have ate him. It's been a little while. I don't remember that, but I know that Benjamin shows up and buries him. So that was a shock. Okay. Now I've got 2 passages I want to read from, but this book was written in 1959, and I guess 64 years later, or however many years it is, this is still relevant. Like the arguments and the conversations and the thoughts in this are still things that people are fighting over now. Should we go to war? Should we nuke somebody? Should we push the button? Should we try to escape and find another way to live? It's just so deep and so... It makes you think. I mean, I know that sounds stupid and sounds simple and everything, but it makes you think. It really does. I mean, I'm nobody. I can make no change happen. But I wish that, like, the people in charge that could make decisions and make things happen would read something like this and actually get something from it. But the problem with that is most people will read this and just get further entrenched in their own thoughts. And that's the problem with political debates and debates of the nature that are in this book. So that's why I'm not really getting into them. Because minds almost never change. They just dig in deeper. So I'm just going to read two passages that really stuck out to me, and then we're going to, I'll give you a reading update. First off, from page 232. Like I said, I'm going to read this word for word. You are proposing, said Galt, suddenly dismayed, that we are not the descendants of Adam, not related to historical humanity? Wait! I only offer the conjecture that the pre-deluge race, which called itself man, succeeded in creating life. Shortly befall of their civilization, it successfully created the ancestors of present humanity, after their own image, as a servant species. But even if you totally reject revelation, that's a completely unnecessary complication under plain common sense, Galt complained. The abbot had come quietly down the stairs. He paused on the lower landing and listened incredulously. It might seem so, Thon Teodo argued, until you consider how many things it would account for. You know the legends of the simplification. They all become more meaningful, it seems to me, if one looks at the simplification as a rebellion by a created servant species against the original creator species, as the fragmentary reference suggests. It would also explain why present-day humanity seems so inferior to the ancients, why our ancestors lapsed into barbarism when their masters were extinct. Why, and then he's interrupted. God have mercy on this house, cried Dom Paolo, striding toward the alcove. Spare us, Lord, we know not what we did. I should have known, the scholar muttered to the world at large. The old priest advanced like a nemesis on his guest. So, we are but creatures of creatures then, sir philosopher, made by lesser gods than God, and therefore understandably less than perfect, through no fault of ours, of course. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you get in this book. It's very fascinating. And then, on page 281, this is great. Let me find it here. The abbot snapped off the set. Where's the truth, he asked quietly. What's to be believed? Or does it matter at all? When mass murder has been answered with mass murder, rape with rape, hate with hate, there's no longer much meaning in asking whose axe is the bloodier. Evil on evil, piled on evil. Was there any justification in our police action in space? How can we know? Certainly there was no justification for what they did, or was there? We only know what that thing says, and that thing is a captive. I liked that because it shows how humanity responds to, it's not with let's fix the problem, let's not make things better. We respond, we answer murder with murder, we answer rape with rape, hate with hate, and that still is relevant today. It's really sad. This book is a amazing commentary on humanity and our flaws, foibles, and our failings. So this is much more than science fiction. This could be really considered a very solid commentary on what we should think about and what we should be or try to be. So, A Canticle for Liebowitz by Walter M. Miller Jr. Much more than science fiction. And I don't know if I told you, hold on. I don't know if I told you how the page count of this, but it was 338 pages for my copy. But anyway, that's my review of A Canticle for Liebowitz. It's still got me thinking, as you can tell. Sorry about that, everybody. I have no idea what I was saying. Our battery died. It was a crappy battery. We threw it away. I mean, seriously, it's been on the charger, and it should have been all all topped up, and it couldn't even make it through a 25-minute video. So, but anyway, that was my thoughts for A Canticle for Liebowitz. I was kind of winding down on that anyway. I'll give you a small reading update. Not much to be said. I have finished 19 books for this month. I'm halfway through these two books, Somewhere in Time by Richard Matheson and Crocodile on the Sunbank by Elizabeth Peters. Not really. These are from 1975. Probably not going to finish 25 books this month either. It was kind of a big mountain to try and climb for only 28 days. But I'm still happy that I'm at least going to finish 21, because I will finish these two, probably tonight. If not tonight, then early tomorrow. So even so, 21 books in 28 days is monumental. But that, I know I'm not going to give you too much of a reading update. Like I said, Saga will come out tomorrow of my buddy read with Tad. Let's see. I guess that's... See, if the battery could have just held on for just another minute and a half. And, you know, the cats could just leave us alone for 30 seconds. Honestly, I know you're not here with us, and we don't abuse them, regardless of what some morons out there like to think. But they rarely are in our faces. This thing turns on, and I start talking, and here they come. But not to me. They go to they go to ruin our quality. So, it makes me really happy. But anyway, that's the video today. Like I said, it's kind of a shame that the battery couldn't have lasted like 2 more minutes, because I was done. So, I don't know what other hint I can give my camera person to let her know that I'm finishing. But that's it. I'll talk to you tomorrow when it comes to Saga, and until then, read more.